What happened in Utah yesterday changed everything. Charlie Kirk, conservative activist, Turning Point USA founder, was fatally shot at Utah Valley University. Today, we're breaking down everything known so far. The sequence, the security failings, what we don't know, what investigators are doing, and what this means going forward. Part of Kirk's America Comeback Tour, a Prove Me Wrong table debate event. The crowd was estimated at about 3,000 people. Around midday, sometime between 12:10 and 12:20 p.m. local time, while Kirk was speaking, a single shot was fired. Kirk was hit in the neck and ultimately pronounced dead. The shooter's location is believed to have been on a rooftop, likely the Low C Center building. The shot was fired from some distance, around 200 yards away. Law enforcement dispatch described someone in all black tactical gear, helmet, mask, aviator glasses, possibly a vest, carrying a long gun. And video surfaced showing a person running across the roof immediately after the shot. And another still image shows someone standing on the same roof earlier. Two individuals were separately detained, both later released with no one currently charged. The Utah Department of Public Safety is co-investigating with the FBI. So here's where we analyze with a security and protection lens. The rooftop sniper scenario. The attackers likely firing from elevation gives several advantages. Clear line of sight, harder to see, and more difficult to counter quickly. But it also means that they have to plan carefully. Roof access, an escape route, and this means potential forward reconnaissance. Few witnesses saw movement on the roof until after the shot. Shooting from 200 yards isn't trivial. It requires a well-aimed shot, accounting for factors like wind, angle, possible obstacles, and bullet drop. This suggests someone with experience or at least an intermediate level of planning. So let's talk crowd and event security. There were around 3,000 people. It was outdoors in a tented area. Security was present. There were 6 campus police officers and Kirk's personal security team. But there were no metal detectors or bag checks reported. Witnesses say little or no screening. That's risky in a high-profile political event. The evidence so far supports this being targeted, not random. One shot, one victim. Video shows someone running across the roof just after the shot. Escape routes from a rooftop matter. Getting off the roof, avoiding line of sight, exfiltration. If the attacker is tactical, it's likely that they had an exit plan. So, what we don't know yet, red flags and uncertainties. The shooter has not yet been identified. We don't know what drove them, but it's speculated that it was ideology or maybe even a personal grievance. It's not publicly confirmed if the shooting weapon has been found. We also don't know yet exactly how the shooter got to the roof. We don't know if the roof was secured or if it was easily accessible. And we don't know if there was surveillance or patrols on the roof prior to or during the event. We don't yet know if this is a lone actor or if there's any possibility of accomplices or what else was in the event perimeter. The FBI has also not yet confirmed ballistics, fingerprints, the presence of DNA, or surveillance video quality. So now let's talk implications and lessons from a security and protection perspective. High-profile events require elevated security planning. For speakers or figures likely to draw political attention, every event is potentially a target. Security assessments should include likely sniper positions and elevated threat vectors, perimeter and access control, should not just include the crowd, but the surroundings, roofs, elevated positions, windows overlooking the stage, all potential danger zones. Securing or at least monitoring them can make a difference, as well as implementing screening and surveillance, bag checks, metal detectors, video surveillance, motion detection even, patrols. The more layers, the better. And planning for rapid response and medical readiness. Given the next shot and fatality, time is critical. Having medics on standby and clear evacuation routes can make a huge impact. And intelligent and threat assessment ahead of time. Pre-event threat modeling. Who has motive? Who may be likely to act? Possible public threats, recent rhetoric, any prior warnings, as well as coordination with local law enforcement and federal agencies if the risk seems elevated. So this is what investigators will likely focus on next. Identifying the shooter, using video surveillance, forensic evidence from the scene, including shell casings, bullet trajectory, possibly even DNA on the roof or entries and exits that the shooter used, tracking the escape route, reviewing video before and after, and looking for suspicious movements on the roof or through entries and exits. Testing any known persons of interest, alibis, whereabouts, connections to Kirk or the event, any history of political violence or extremist ties, ballistic matching, if the weapon is found, analyzing video and audio, shots, timing, echoes, gunshot detection logs, if there are any, because many campuses do have shot spotter technology that will help narrow down the precise location. Then continued crowd and witness interviews. So now let's talk broader context and what this means. This killing is being widely labeled a political assassination. It underscores the rising risk for public figures, especially in polarized context. When debate events draw large crowds and political commentary, they become soft targets. So how do we preserve public discourse while maintaining safety? In terms of policy and law enforcement implications, it may prompt renewed focus on event security regulations, background checks, roof access laws even. Also, debates about gun control. But from a security standpoint, threat mitigation is key. There are also public trust and misinformation risks, early confusion about people detained and released, initial conflicting statements can fuel conspiracy, panic, or distrust. Investigators must be as transparent as possible without compromising evidence. So, upcoming expectations. Official statements from law enforcement about suspect identities, if any, weapon identification, the release of forensic results, bullet trajectory and video enhancements, any uncovered failures or negligence in security arrangements, whether additional persons of interest emerge, whether threats emerge from groups or individuals claiming responsibility, but an investigative focus on roof access, past planning, and possible warnings. The Charlie Kirk shooting is heartbreaking. And more than that, it's a case study in how a single determined individual with planning, distance, and opportunity can strike a vulnerable moment. As a security expert, I see this incident as a warning. As public discourse becomes more polarized, we must take threats seriously, plan thoroughly, and never assume it won't happen here. I'll be following this case closely. As more facts emerge, I will update you, and we'll keep looking at it through the lens of truth and protection. If you want, hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications. You don't want to miss when critical updates drop. And as always, act accordingly.